Hello, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for February 3rd. The U.S.-Japanese yen pair moved higher today. It did close higher than previous resistance over the past couple of days, couple of sessions. We are looking for this pair to continue overall moving sideways with a slight bias to the upside. Look for it to potentially go to 91.77, possibly as low as 89.50. Look for some resistance around 91.50 and look for some support around 90.50. Okay, now switching to the Euro-USD pair. This particular pair closed down today. In today's session, it did make a new high over the past several sessions. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways though, but with a heavy bias to the downside. Look for it to potentially go to 140.89 if we get a pullback, possibly as low as 138.14 if it continues to move lower. Look for resistance around 140.30 and look for some support around 138.49. Now switching over to the pound US dollar pair. This pair pulled back a significant amount back to previous support, or pretty much to it, and then moved lower to close lower. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a heavy bias to the downside. Look for it to potentially move to 161.56 if it moves higher, and possibly down to 157.84 if it moves lower. Look for some resistance around 160.70 and look for some support around the 158.50 area. Okay, now looking at the US Swiss, this pair moved lower but did close up for the session. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a bias to the upside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 106.55, possibly as low as 104.49. Look for some resistance around 106.25 and look for some support around 104.95. Okay, now we do have some news announcements for tomorrow. We have the Bank of England releasing their interest rate decision at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on this is that they're going to hold rates at 0.50%. Now at 7:45 p.m. a.m. Eastern, we have the European Central Bank releasing their rate decision. Consensus is they're going to hold at 1%. Now, later on in the day, around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to have the Reserve Bank of Australia giving their quarterly monetary policy statement. So that's definitely worth noting. Well, as far as what I'm looking at during this next session or so, if you jump over to the New Zealand US dollar pair, you will see that we have a low here and we have a low here. It actually has broken today's price, or this session's price already has broken this low by 3 pips. I could see it continuing down to this area of resistance that would now be support. And this is about a 60 pip move or so, 75 pip move, somewhere in there. Now, what's interesting about that is it's already broken it. Now, if you switch over to the Australian US dollar pair, which tends to move similarly to the New Zealand US dollar pair, they both kind of move the same. You notice that today's session has not broken the current low or the previous low. So what you could do is go ahead and zoom on in a little bit, draw some trend lines, assuming that the Australian pair follows the New Zealand pair to the downside. You look for a breakout to the downside, and just to show you what it looks like, we got about 52 pips there. But if you back out even more and take a look at where some previous support should be for this, if you come down to this area here, down to the 0.8607 area is where I believe we could get some potential support from this if it does move to the downside. Also at 0.8675. So when you take a look at this, we have first area of support at about 58 pips, second area of support at about 113, and the third's at about 181. So if this thing comes on down, you could stair step your stop loss down into profit as it moves lower. The fact that it hasn't broken the low as of yet tells me that if it does follow the New Zealand US dollar, it's going to have a little ways to go, and you should be able to take advantage of that, at least in the short term, possibly even in the long term. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.